The fitness industry is plagued by orange juiced up mannequins spewing all over our screens with inflated egos and accompanying sponsorships. These generic clone-like specimens like to show us their best pickup lines, pick up humans, and spend a disproportionate amount of time flexing in front of the mirror. Some call them an inspiration, some call them role models, a team, a collective. I like to call them Leg Day, What to Call the Video, With Babes, Nailed It. But those titles are nothing compared to this guy who managed to cover the entire fitness influencer curriculum in one title. Full day of eating, on a cut, in Dubai. 10 points, sir. What next, a day in the life video in Dubai? Because a full day of eating videos and day in the life are just great. So aspirational, so interesting. Can you put that to me in an email? I would rather watch Belle Delphine eating donuts than these donuts eating protein donuts for a day. Italian mafia fugitive caught in Dominican Republic after posting YouTube cooking show. Let's just say he was demonetized. In this week's caption that. David Lade is my favorite natty. The former teenage endocrine system destroying Gymshark idol who has a generic bunch of clone links hanging off him on his thumbnail, just hoping for some of that gold dust to rub off on them so they can become the next influential. And I'm going to do a video on fitness boy bands because you're all terrible. When all of you make the I'm quitting YouTube, this is my last video, can you please stick to your word? Instead of using it as some kind of clickbait as a catalyst for your future videos. No more secrets. Why we stopped talking. I am intrigued. Please go on. Which one's a natty again? I forget. Uzuma Obolo. He is, obviously. Because balance to health and fitness, applicability, realistic, naturally achievable goals, and all that is not the image and lifestyle that they project to their millions of adoring fans who want to be them. Longevity is just a word in the dictionary, and honesty and transparency just an afterthought. Crazy things happen at the Wish House. New YouTube video reveals it all. 7 models,
1 man, 1 mansion.
Now, I'm not a mathematician, but
John Not Skywalker.
John Skywalker is taking stuff to get rid of his gyno caused by taking stuff so that he can take more stuff. You gotta love the fitness industry. If when the gyno goes away completely, I'm hopping on trend. And so at least I guess he's honest about what he does, unlike some. And if you don't know who he is, this sums him up. Or you may know him as a seller of the bicep of truth, which does sound like an early Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Either way, he runs with the cool kids. Whatever happened to Daniel? You don't see him posting much anymore. Talking of which, Fitterly's YouTube page has just undergone a massive improvement.
I'm getting like a million DMs about the gyno because I know it's a self-confidence thing for a lot of you guys.
But at what point does he need to take a step back and rethink his fitness and health journey? Fill in the blank, wings of a bald eagle. Hey, waste of time. There are literally aliens flying around in the sky and people are spending their time looking at John Skywalker's socks. And posers love a cringe title with a sprinkle of epicness. Introducing the Demolition Men. Deltoid Demolition featuring the Organic Twins. You see what you've done, Gymshark? This is your legacy.
Back demolition, chest demolition.
There is and only ever will be one Demolition Man. Deltoid Domination. David's getting all creative. Jailbroken chest day. What does that mean? Clearly not his camera work. It's just a regular pushing session. Next time you go to the gym and you do a push session and someone comes over to you and says, what are you training today? Tell them jailbroken chest from the David Lade Book of Periodization. I'm on to domination next week. Can't leave out Gethin. Sleeve splitting arm workout for mass, which is, like all the other videos, just standard exercises done with overload. And stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of passion, the bravado on these bros. Fitness isn't epic hype showmanship, but really just basics done consistently, which in my interpretation are in a humble manner and very much a personal journey. Lex Little's unethical workout at zoo culture with everyone. I'm out, I tried.
Yeah.
That's my limit. And if you thought it couldn't get more frustrating than 2020, introducing 2019, that went under the radar.
David Lade.
So apart from perhaps, lying about how he achieved his results as he grew his status in the fitness industry, he is an example of the redundant yet ubiquitous culture in the fitness industry of people taking handfuls and handfuls of supplements for the most minute of supposed benefits.
So this is a whole lot of dopamine in my hand.
There is a joke in there somewhere. And especially if you're juiced to the gills, the effect of taking over-the-counter supplements in comparison to the juice is like a drop in the ocean. Don't worry, because this fella just downs a handful of supplements because David Lade told him to.
Did you shoot all of them? Mm-hmm.
And so supplements are essentially for convenience and for deficiency, and in some cases performance. And if people are deficient in certain substances, then supplementing can be absolutely vital. But that's very misinterpreted, and we have research into certain supplements where people were deficient and saw a benefit, and so the fitness industry will project it as just, everyone take it to see a benefit, even if you're not deficient. But remember, as we go through his nonsense, that these are not the real supplements that he took on his way up to the peak of the fitness industry. But to be fair to them, the dialogue is fascinating.
So I have it set to the gym right now. It says I'll be there in like an hour and a half. But I'm thinking like, I'm assuming obviously you're gonna eat another meal before you train, right? Or not?
So I'm gonna have a small meal and probably a smoothie right now. So
Tarantino, take notes.
Honestly, then in that case, because I had a decent breakfast and stuff too, I think that I'll be good to just meet you in the gym. We could train there and then maybe I don't know, get some roots out or something. Then go to your house and poker podcast, all that.
Favorite Tarantino film? Go. Hateful Eight. Let's start with his creatine information.
Is creatine good for long-term use? And it's honestly not good for long-term use or really short-term use. It's one of the most dangerous, least effective supplements on the market. So if you could avoid it at all costs, I definitely would, because common side effects include fatality.
Now there's two options here. Number one, that is potentially some of the worst supplement information ever given in the history of YouTube ever. Number two, most likely he's trolling, he's joking in a kind of deadpan way, even though the rest of the video is deadly serious and his delivery is deadly serious and there's no joking anywhere in the video, and I'm not convinced he has that level of deadpan in him. However, most likely it's some kind of trolling, in which case, what an arse of an answer that is to your fan who's so happy that they got their question into your video. And that's the way that you answered them wanting to know about creatine.
It's honestly not good for long-term use or really short-term use. It's one of the most dangerous, least effective supplements on the market. So
are you mocking your own subscriber in the way you've answered that? You appear such a likable person. I mean, if you want to mock someone, you could mock someone like me. But when a subscriber is asking you a genuine question like that, what a great flippant answer that was. But don't worry, his real supplement information is terrible. I will explain. And so here's David with his mate. Let's just call him David too.
This is Tribulus. It's kind of you've heard of it, it's kind of like a test booster-ish.
Tribulus is not evidence-based as a test booster. At this point, I'm offering a free seminar. I'll take Vince, Callie, Mike, David.
Kind of more energy.
Tribulus gives you more energy. You what, mate? Creatine does exactly that through the regeneration of ADP to ATP. But, he gave his flippant answer to his fan when he talks about creatine. But for Tribulus, he'll tell you it gives you more energy.
It's an adaptogen, buffers your body towards stress.
No, Tribulus has research for stress in depressed rats. And by the way, where the doses of Tribulus were very high. So technically, yes, it's an adaptogen in mega doses given to depressed rats. And so that's the most prominent paper we have on stress and depression with Tribulus, for example. And there's papers which analyze that work. And yes, they do conclude that depressed rats benefited from it.
It's an adaptogen, buffers your body towards stress.
The lack of application and real understanding from this guy when he's giving this supplement information is astounding. Or is it?
The yellow magic pill?
The yellow magic pill. This is Sam E.
Davis Jr. Sorry, I had to.
This, what does Sam E do? It doesn't matter.
That was the best explanation out of the bunch. Most commonly used for osteoarthritis.
And,
Okay, doesn't matter.
Not sure where he was going with that one because he said nothing, which is an improvement. My question to him would be, how large were the sample groups in the research that you may be thinking of? And what limitations in program design were there, for example? And so it's just a raft of semi-accurate statements where the full context of evidence is completely lacking.
And so in conclusion, it's just his made-up ramblings to his mates.
What is it with this dude in the Wolverine pose? No punchline there. What part of this guy taking off his shirt and pulling Wolverine poses in multiple posts does he think is a good idea? And a lot of people are going to watch that and they're going to buy the supplements that David Lade takes because they want to be like him. A handful of supplements a day keeps the doctor away or something like that.